What if the most dangerous moment of your golden years isn't a disease, a surgery, or even a long flight, but a single, ordinary step you've taken 10,000 times before? Think about that for a second, because every year millions of seniors plan trips. Walk to the bathroom at night, step off a curb, or reach for a suitcase handle, and in that quiet, boring moment, a simple fall changes everything. Not because the fall itself is always deadly, but because of one invisible mistake nobody talks about. One that doctors rarely explain clearly, families don't understand until it's too late, and seniors themselves often dismiss as just part of aging. And that mistake is not weak bones, not slippery floors, not even bad balance, but the silent loss of what experts call protective reaction timing. The split-second instinct that once told your body how to fall safely, how to twist, how to absorb impact, how to protect the head, the hips, and the spine. An instinct that fades quietly after 60 and disappears faster after 70, especially in people who travel less carefully, sit more, and assume their experience will save them. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most seniors don't die from the fall. They die from what happens in the minutes, hours, and weeks after the fall, when the body reacts differently than it did at 40, when shock lasts longer, when inflammation spirals faster, when immobility triggers a chain reaction that includes blood clots, pneumonia, confusion, depression, and a terrifying loss of independence. And this is why a fall in an older adult is not an accident. It's an event, a biological stress test that exposes hidden weaknesses all at once. And it often begins with overconfidence, the belief that I'm careful, I've traveled my whole life, I know how to walk, which sounds logical, but ignores how aging subtly rewires the nervous system. Because after 60, the brain processes balance information more slowly. The inner ear sends weaker signals, the feet lose sensitivity, the eyes struggle with depth in low light, and muscles fire a fraction of a second later. A fraction that means everything, because when a younger person trips, their body reacts before the brain even thinks. But in seniors, the brain thinks first, and thinking is slower than reflex. And that delay is the mistake nobody talks about, especially in travel and daily movement advice. Because most safety tips focus on the environment handrails, shoes, lighting, but ignore the internal timing problem. The fact that your body no longer saves you automatically. And this is why so many falls happen on flat ground, in familiar places, during simple actions like turning, standing up, or stepping down from a low height. And why seniors who travel, especially those who love exploring airports, hotels, cruise ships, and unfamiliar streets, are at even higher risk, not because travel is dangerous, but because travel demands constant micro-adjustments, new surfaces, different lighting, jet lag, dehydration, distraction, and fatigue, all of which steal precious milliseconds from reaction time. Milliseconds that decide whether you stumble and recover or stumble and fall hard. And when that fall happens, the danger multiplies, because older bodies don't bruise the same way. They fracture more easily, bleed internally more quietly, and mask pain more effectively, leading many seniors to say, "I'm fine," only to collapse later from a subdural hematoma, internal bleeding, or shock. And families are shocked because the fall didn't look that bad, but biology doesn't care how it looked, only how the force traveled through brittle bones, stiff joints, and slower healing tissues. And here's where the story gets darker, because the real killer after a fall is often the bed, the forced rest, the sudden loss of movement that causes muscles to shrink rapidly, balance to worsen, confidence to vanish, and fear to take over. And fear is powerful. Fear makes seniors move less, walk cautiously, shorten their steps, look down constantly. And this cautious walking ironically increases fall risk by weakening posture and reducing natural sway control. A cruel loop that turns one fall into many, and doctors see this pattern every day. Yet it's rarely explained in plain language. So seniors think the solution is to be more careful, when the real solution is to retrain the body to react again, to rebuild protective responses, to accept that aging requires new strategies, not just caution, because caution alone freezes the body, and a frozen body breaks easier. And this is especially true for seniors who travel or plan to travel, because travel after 60 isn't about seeing places. It's about managing energy, hydration, timing, and movement. And one of the most overlooked dangers is fatigue-induced falls, the kind that happen at the end of the day, after sightseeing, after long walks through airports, after standing in security lines, when legs feel heavy, posture collapses slightly, and attention drifts, and that's when the curb looks lower than it is. The hotel bathroom looks safe but isn't. The suitcase handle pulls you off balance, and the fall happens. Sudden, shocking, humiliating, and life-changing. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. After a serious fall, many seniors never return to their previous level of independence, not because they can't physically recover, but because the fall teaches the brain fear faster than confidence, and fear rewires movement, making every step stiff, hesitant, and unstable. And this is why some seniors survive the hospital, but decline rapidly afterward, losing appetite, social interest, and the desire to move, leading to what doctors call post-fall syndrome, a real condition that quietly shortens life. And all of this traces back to that initial mistake, the belief that experience protects you from falling, when in reality experience without updated physical training increases risk, because the body you have at 70 is not the body you had at 40, even if your mind feels the same, and ignoring that gap is dangerous. And this message is especially important for seniors who pride themselves on staying active, traveling independently, and not acting old, because denial is not strength. Adaptation is. And the strongest seniors are not the ones who refuse assistance, but the ones who redesign their habits intelligently, who understand that falls are not random. They are predictable, preventable, and manageable with the right approach. And this is where most advice fails, because it gives checklists instead of mindset shifts. But the mindset shift is everything. You must stop thinking of falling as clumsiness and start seeing it as a signal that your reaction system needs retraining. Your muscles need quick-fire strength, your balance needs challenge, and your travel routines need adjustment, because slow strength alone is not enough. Walking alone is not enough. Stretching alone is not enough. Seniors need reactive strength, the ability to catch yourself, to step quickly, to stabilize unpredictably. And this kind of training is almost never discussed on YouTube in a serious way for older adults. Yet it's exactly what reduces fall injuries, because it restores some of that lost instinct. And here's the hopeful part, the part nobody talks about enough. The nervous system can improve at any age. Reaction time can be trained, balance can be sharpened, and confidence can be rebuilt, but only if seniors stop avoiding movement and start practicing it safely, intentionally, and progressively. And yes, even travelers can do this, even at home, even in hotel rooms, even in airports, by practicing simple but specific movements that wake up the brain-body connection. Because preventing falls is not about being careful. It's about being prepared for slips, missteps, distractions, and fatigue. And preparation looks different after 60. It means choosing shoes not for style, but for feedback and grip. It means planning travel days with recovery breaks. It means never rushing, especially at transitions like stairs, curbs, and bathroom floors. It means understanding that nighttime bathroom trips are one of the most dangerous moments for seniors because blood pressure drops when standing. Vision is poor and the brain is half asleep. And this is why so many fatal falls happen at night, quietly, at home, and why lighting, hydration, and slow transitions matter more than people realize. And it means accepting help without shame, using handrails, asking for assistance with luggage, sitting to put on shoes, and choosing rooms closer to elevators. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because wisdom after 60 is not about proving independence, it's about protecting longevity. And this channel exists to say what others won't say plainly. A simple fall is rarely simple, but it doesn't have to be deadly, not if you respect what aging changes and respond intelligently, not fearfully. So if you or someone you love is over 60, especially if you enjoy traveling, walking, or staying active, don't ignore this message. Don't wait for a fall to teach you a lesson you could learn today. Because the mistake nobody talks about is not falling. It's assuming you'll react the same way you always have. And now, before this video ends, here are clear, practical suggestions you can start using immediately. First, train reaction, not just strength, by practicing gentle balance challenges daily, such as standing on one foot near a wall, stepping in different directions, or catching yourself lightly when you intentionally lose balance in a safe space. Second, slow down transitions. Always pause when standing up, especially at night or after sitting for long periods. Third, redesign travel days with rest built in, shorter walking blocks, hydration stops, and no rushing through unfamiliar spaces. Fourth, upgrade footwear and vision checks regularly, because what you see and feel under your feet determines balance more than leg strength. Fifth, never ignore a fall, even a minor one. Always monitor symptoms for 24 to 48 hours and seek medical advice if anything feels off. And finally, most importantly, replace the mindset of "I'm careful" with "I'm prepared," because preparation saves lives, preserves independence, and allows you to enjoy your golden years and your travels with confidence instead of fear.